What's up, beautiful people? We're back with another episode of Getting Crazy with Crazy Wills. And I'm here with my buddy Wayne Lee, and today we're going to talk about something a little different. We're going to talk about bodybuilding and everything in between and exercise, and talk about how this man got himself out of his own wheelchair, laying in the bed all day, to having his own house and taking care of his own self. And this is awesome because I've been with this man on a podcast for a long time. This is an episode that I've been really looking forward to getting into in the conversation. I know me and you talked for about 45 minutes the other day on the phone. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I gotta go ahead and record this now, but we couldn't do that day. But it was awesome. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell a little people about yourself?
All right. Well, my name is Wayne Lee. Uh, Most people might know me on TikTok as Fire underscore 2369. Not sure if you can hear me, but
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate it. This is a real honor to be involved in this podcast. I am 37, and at the age of 30, I was T-boned by basically it was a hit and run. The guy sneezed and he went through a stop sign. I had the right of way, and he went underneath my truck, and it went airborne because he blew three tires. And C5 exploded in my neck like shrapnel from a hand grenade. I was a bodybuilder before my injury. I've been bodybuilding for 20 plus years. And I was on a trach. I couldn't eat, drink, or talk. I had to learn pretty much everything like I didn't exist. That was pretty insane. I couldn't move. It was in and out of the hospitals, and I was in rehab recovery for like 15 months. I transferred from one hospital where they gave me a pressure ulcer the size of Texas, so I had to go to Mary Free Bed in Michigan, Grand Rapids, and I was on the spinal cord unit. And they stuck me in the fifth floor, which was a geriatric floor. I was the only young gun there. And then I had plastic surgery to close up this stage four pressure ulcer the size of Texas, and they had given me an ostomy. Several close calls. I'm basically coming back from the dead like Lazarus. I was heavily medicated. I had like 18 different meds. I graduated the program four times at Mary Free Bed, and then it just went downhill from there. In and out of the hospitals. You had like septic shock, kidney stones, bladder stones, you name it, I had it. They punctured my lung. I had three PICC lines in this bicep, and the fourth one punctured my lung. I had a suprapubic catheter because they had gave me an indwelling catheter. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but it goes in your urethra, and you basically go to the bathroom like that because I have a neurogenic bladder. From injury, that depends what level. C5, it's a really high injury. 6 and 7 are fused. You have thoracic injuries, and then you have lower lumbar. A
Um.
C5 controls small motor movement skills for your hands, so that's why my hands are contracted.
Okay. So let's go back and elaborate on the catheter. Explain the catheters and how they work. What the differences are for the people that don't know.
Okay, so indwelling catheter, it's a tube, and it's about this big, and it goes in your urethra, and then the nurse or whoever is professionally can do it. They put like a saline solution, and it's a balloon that goes in your bladder. It's like a bobber, and then that's how you go to the bathroom. Like you can't feel it, but I have a lot of sensation all over. I have nerve damage, chest all the way down, where it feels like I'm being engulfed in flames 24/7 or dumped in snow. It's not fun. Anyway, you have an indwelling catheter that goes in the urethra, and then you have a suprapubic catheter, which they do an incision by your belly button. It's pretty much the same concept, but it's not going into your urethra. But if you have an indwelling catheter, be mindful that it does not dislodge. Otherwise, you have 45 seconds to get another one in. Otherwise, you'll get into AD, autonomic dysreflexia. I don't know if guys know about that, but your autonomic system is going haywire, and you can get high blood pressure, heart rate, headaches, and increased anxiety. And if you don't catch it, all those symptoms, you could die.
Yeah.
So they don't tell you that in the rehab hospital, and they'll if that happens, then you have to find the problem. It's pretty much like, all right, weird sensations are happening. You have to get to the problem quick.
This man is like
What?
this man is like David Goggins in the wheelchair. You guys will figure that out when we get into the story. But what moment was it that you knew you had to work out, and what motivated you to work out and become the David Goggins in the wheelchair?
The moment I got off all the meds, I was on five different ones from like 2019 all the way to 2023. I
Wow.
looked at myself. I was laying in bed. I had sores because things just wasn't adding up. I wasn't eating properly. I wasn't hydrating, so I was in and out of hospitals. Was like UTIs that you're prone to that. And I
Yeah.
was like, enough is enough. So I got off all the meds and I did my own research and I got in some different supplements. Do your own research. I'm not telling you to just flat out quit meds, but the meds mentally, physically, they're gonna kill you. They don't do anything for you. They make you tired, and they don't give you energy, and you just want to be in bed, and you feel sorry about yourself, and you just. That's my number one bigaboo. Get off the meds. Find something holistic. If you're in pain, work through the pain. It sucks, but you got to go through it. You just have to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
Um, I went from benching 12 pounds to 65 pounds. I think I
That's,
did that in like 3 years.
that's awesome.
But muscle has memories. So I was a bodybuilder before this. God and bodybuilding saved my life.
That's awesome, man. Um, so what was the moment? Were there things that the doctors and the nurses told you that you would never sit up, you would never do nothing? What was it like to hear them say those things, and how did you keep yourself motivated when you couldn't, when you know you couldn't do it?
When the doctor said you're never gonna walk again, you're always gonna be institutionalized. You're going to basically not have the life that you want and get comfortable with it. And I believed them because I was medicated and I didn't know anything better. And it's rough. It's not for the faint of heart. This isn't for weak-minded people. It's uh it's a constant struggle every day. Every day I wake up and go, why are we doing this? Because not only are you doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for someone else. I don't know who I'm doing this for. Somebody may be wanting to like take their life because they hate your situation. They hate like they were normal and now they have wheels for legs. And
Uh,
what's really normal? Like I mean, there's all sorts of different people with disabilities and they're flourishing. So why can't I? Why can't I have the luxury of having the great life?
yeah.
I wasn't born like this.
Okay. So what was life growing up for Wayne growing up before you had your energy? I mean, not your energy, but your injury. Sorry.
Life was I lived in the country and I shot guns, I four wheeled, I quadded, I fished, I climbed trees, I blew up objects. I learned primitive survival skills. I had the militant mind. I was basically like a Swiss Army knife. Whoever needed it, I wanted to be the person to help. I carried flashlight, I carried knives, I carried fire starters. I just wanted to be useful.
Yeah.
I played several different instruments. I did backyard wrestling. I golfed. I swam. Everything I touched, I was good at because I practiced my craft. I was a professional bowler. I shot pool. I had relationships.
So, what are you doing now that you don't have any of that? What do you do now to keep yourself in that mindset? Like, what are your hobbies like? How does life change and how do you keep going?
Well, I like to play video games. I'm a prodigy. I taught myself millions of different things, from putting clothes on to rolling around. If I had PT, OT, um, fitness training, and then I play video games, like I said, and I play RC cars with my so I control like the wheels and stuff with my face, and then I throttle with this hand. This hand is actually increased strength from 0 to 26% psi pounds per square inch. This was at 14.5, and now it's at 32 psi, so equivalent of 57 pounds of force, which is pretty awesome. I'm pretty stoked about that.
So, what,
I watch movies, I listen to music, and I volunteer at the Air Museum, and I basically tell people about airplanes. I'm very good with aviation and the military. I went to school for Homeland Security before my injury. That was in 2010. I lived in Flint for a year, and
yeah,
I was a certified section officer. I was second in class,
that's awesome.
and then I went to school for massage therapy. I had a 4.0, and that was brutal. I had papers about like this. It was crazy about like studying about the human body and the anatomy and what
Have,
massages, what modalities.
have you found like your background with massage therapy? Have you found it to help you get better and help you get stronger? Do you use any of those techniques with your own stuff?
Yes, I have. Massage therapy is really good. It's basically a massage is like taking the lymphatic system and taking it out of your body. A massage is basically a vacuum cleaner for the human body. There's like so many muscles and different trigger points, and just the human body is so complex. The
Awesome.
human body is basically an electric highway all through your brain, through your whole body, it just keeps going.
Awesome. So I like the fact that you do aviation and you go to these museums and you're training people about you're telling people about these planes. So how does that help your physical fitness in your everyday life?
Oh, that's a mental fitness. You basically, I have bad social anxiety, anxiety in general, and a lot of PTSD, and just going out in public is a really uh, intense because, well, I have wheels for legs, and then I have this tube that goes to my urethra to help me go to the bathroom, and that's an eyesore. But I try and block it out, and I just want people to know that disability is just it's just a term. You're only disabled um, if you throw yourself in that category, because if you can move around and you can think for yourself, you're not really disabled. You're just different. You're different.
That's awesome. And what most people don't wouldn't think or wouldn't know about Wayne is tell them about your house and how you got the house and what that was like and how that helps your physical fitness. Like how do you put that in your physical fitness? Because I know that was very mental for you to try to figure out how to get staff, and you went from like staff.
Well,
You went from staff all day to no staff at all, pretty much. Not at all, but
yeah,
now
I am 99% efficient in what I do. A lot of people like me, I'm not normal. As one of my friends and my boss, who has this establishment to get me to this house, and he does real estate. He's been doing it for like 30 different. He's got 30 different properties. He was just really smart. He has his own home health company, and then he has medical supplies. He's just a overall rounded individual, and he's also a paraplegic. So I'm a quad, but it functions as a paraplegic level. I have abs. I'm getting abs. We're getting triceps. Things are starting to waken up. Like I was frozen in cryogenics for like 5 years. So I started out in an apartment in Battle Creek, Michigan, and it was not accessible at all. And I had bed baths, and I was a wreck. I went to rehab 4 days a week, and it was like 2 hours and 30 minutes for. I traveled 4 days, and that was bad. I also have an ostomy. I'm not sure if people know that, but it's just rerouting of your plumbing. You're just different in that aspect of going number two. I'm all over the place right now. So anyway, I was living in Battle Creek, and then I had this other home health company, and then when the reform of the auto insurance took a dump, basically it just changed the rules for people who get into auto accidents. That's how mine happened. So we found a small little house, and I was miserable. At first, I was like, "Oh, this is cool. I'm in the country and I'm in the woods," but there was like no neighbors. I was like secluded, so I was basically it was a very depressing moment, and I was medicated, and I just didn't want to get out of bed with the meds and just the function I had. I was mad at the world. I was extremely just furious. I still am mad at the world for this injury. Not a day goes by which I wish I could rewind time and go back and see all these beautiful, cool people, but not like this because this is it's nothing that not for the faint of heart.
Yeah,
So I was in this the small house that was in 2021, and I was there for like 3 years, and then I got involved with another company. Well, the other company threw me in a hospital. I was there for a week because the reform took a hit, and basically he left everybody high and dry, and he promised me so many things, and he didn't come through with any of it. So I got involved with this other company, and I was in that small little house. And then this year, we found a house in like a suburb area, and basically they gutted everything out, and they made it for me. They measured areas, and I was like, I have this big shower area. It's like a 10 by 10. I can move my chair around. I have this shaving space. Everything is handicap accessible. It's amazing. I
that's
have a
dope.
pull-up bar in my shower.
That's dope.
So
Yeah, so what you're saying is you never gave up and you kept pushing and you kept working out. How did you keep your workout routine going through all this and through the renovations and all that stuff? Do you use special equipment? Do you
I
modify it?
have I have active hands. They're basically like mittens you put on your hands, and you can put whatever you want inside your hands. So I started with the bar, which was 12 pounds. I did that for a little while, and then once I got off the meds, I started doing some other supplements like ashwagandha and some mushrooms, like organic mushrooms, all in like capsules. And I did my vitamins. I started eating differently, and things just started ramping up. I was just doing my own research and going, all right, putting two to two together. And I started getting stronger, started seeing results, and I was
Okay,
like, wow, let's keep going.
so what are some of the things you ate? Like what kind of diet do you need to eat if you want to get into this kind of stuff?
A high protein diet. Uh, Basically, I went from ground beef to bison and steak. I ate a lot of chicken, but I found bison has more protein and it's lean, and that's what I've been eating.
Wow. So how long did it take you to work up to that? Or did you just start doing it automatically?
I started doing it automatically since I had the knowledge of how to eat and what to eat when I was bodybuilding. That's pretty much how that happened.
Is bodybuilding something that you want to get back into? Have you checked into to see if there's any adaptive bodybuilding, or where do you
Oh,
want to?
I've been bodybuilding since my injury. That's all I do. I work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, um, at, with my personal trainer, and that's what's keeping me alive is bodybuilding and the anchor that fuels my mind and body to keep going.
Awesome.
So from 2006, I've been bullied all my life in school because I was different, and I basically got into weightlifting in 2005, and I haven't stopped. So I've been bodybuilding since 2005.
That's awesome. So, is your coach, is he in a chair too, or disabled, or got a spinal cord injury? Or is it the same? And if it's not,
No,
okay. So if it's not the same, what have you guys done? Have you guys had to adapt anything for you to be able to do it better, or make changes? And what's some of the changes that you found that works best for you if you had to adapt anything?
basically I just have the active hands, and then you can put like the weights in your hand. Like I have the bar, I have weights, I have resistance bands, and I do cardio,
Okay,
some martial arts.
awesome. That's amazing. So, what does martial arts look like in a wheelchair?
Well, there's a lot of punching and a lot of elbows.
Oh, okay. So have you had to use martial arts for your training in real life, or you just have you been lucky enough to only use it in the gym?
Just the gym. I'm a fighter, evidently, and a lover.
Yeah,
But I do practice martial arts
awesome.
because
All right.
it helps your mind and body.
Yeah, I can say that you're somebody. If you get in a fight with somebody, don't put this man lightly because he can hold his own. I can tell by the way he's built and the way he was punching. He can hold his own.
I definitely appreciate that. Yeah, you don't want to cross me. I may look frail and in this chair with wheels, but I am a Marine at heart. I never served in the military, but I have the military mentality where I get up and I do calisthenics. And before my injury, I would get up at 4 a. I would go to bed at 4 a.m. and then I wake up at 4 p.m. and that's when I would start my day.
Yeah,
And I'd start my day with stretches and push-ups and sit-ups and crunches. And then I get my protein drinks and my supplements, and that's how I'd start the day every day.
that's crazy. Have you ever thought about being a coach for other people with disabilities or going in that
I
avenue?
would, I would love to be able to do that. Hold on, look, it is. It's a little smoky here. I have incense. I'm still here
It's all good.
in Michigan. It's like 90 degrees. So in retrospectum, you gotta have a good team. I call my pit crew good therapists, which sometimes I feel my therapists aren't giving me what I need because the goal is to walk. I'm going to walk one day. It's going to happen, but I need everybody on board. Remember, you have a disability or not, you are not a paycheck. You're a human being and you should be treated as such.
Brings up a good example, or a good question. So, what do you do if you can't get what you need from your therapist? Like, how do you, or your pit crew, as you call them, what do you do to make sure they give you what you need?
Well, I have a few pit bulls in my arsenal that they actually bat for me if they don't want if the therapist don't want to hear me now that I have a voice. Um, I have an awesome case manager, and I have a few good females that work with me, and they will bust anybody's butt for not having them get what I need.
That's awesome because I know that's the big challenge we face. Have you found that people take you more serious because of your fitness and your bodybuilding and the things you do? Because I know sometimes with people with disabilities, they can kind of look down on someone with a disability and think, oh, they're in a chair, they can't do anything. So have you seen that that changes people's perspective of the way they see you and the way
I
they
would
interact?
hope I would hope so, but especially females, they don't really interact with me in the outside world because, well, I have legs that don't work right now, and I have wheels like a human transformer. So sometimes people will take highly advantage of you because you are vulnerable in this state.
Very vulnerable in that state. Um, so how have you figured it? How have you found that it gets you out of vulnerable situation because of your bodybuilding and things like that?
I basically have a voice now, and people, I believe, now they listen because now they look at me and go, "Oh, I think he's serious now." When I was medicated, everything just went downhill.
Yeah. How did things? What was the difference between being medicated and not being medicated now?
There was no life. You saw it in the face. My body, it was small and tiny. If you want to look at my check out my TikTok, it's at Freak on Wheels. No, it's at Freak on Fire underscore 2369. I have a post where I was bodybuilding. I got hit when I was on meds, and then when I got off meds. So you'll see like a time lapse.
Okay, cool. Because I know you used to ride your chair for miles to get out of the house. You used to call me and be like, bro, I rode my chair to the store. But how has that changed? What are you doing now that you're not doing that? Like, how has life changed off the medication, on the medication, as far as doing things like that? Have you found
Well,
have you found better ways to physically make yourself move and be more active, or was it what was the difference on and off the medication base?
the difference was when I was on medication, um, I couldn't think. I had no muscle mass. I was basically laying in bed, crying all the time. Just I hated life. When I was medicated, I do smoke weed, and between medication and marijuana, I took 18 trips to Galesburg, Michigan to go see my parents in a wheelchair, a power wheelchair. What, 8 miles from my other location? And I don't do that anymore because they really, it's like they really don't think I exist, or I don't know, maybe they were happy when I was not like this and they don't know how to handle it when I'm like this. I can barely handle this. What makes everybody else think they can handle this as well? This is a huge challenge. I'm basically at the elite part of my life. I am 37 years old and I got hit at 30.
Yeah,
When I'm off the meds, we're having a conversation where you can hear what I'm saying. We can have and a several different yeah, conversations and intellectual conversation is just right now it's everything is like in my head it's just so much to throw out, so it's kind of hard to I'm just really stoked to be here and be able to share my story, which is insane because I shouldn't have what I have and I'm very blessed to have what I have, but it took getting off the meds to get like this.
yeah.
And
So
muscle has memory, so if I
what
wasn't bodybuilding, I would have died. Well, I did die and came and went to hell and then came back and then I resurrected like Lazarus. Um,
So you said you got off the medication. So what if somebody can't get off the medication? Could they alternate medications or something like that?
if they can't get off medications, it's going to be a rough time because think about it. You take a medication, you have side effects. The side effects, you got to get a medication for that. You're just a pharmaceutical puppet. I'm not all about pharmaceuticals. I'm all about holistically doing things differently to make my body and mind collaborate.
Yeah. Is there alternate medications that they could take? Because like people just can't get off medication like that. So what is it?
No, no, they can't. I did it with doctor supervision, but there's no other way to um get out of this hell besides getting off the meds. That was what worked for me and might not work for anybody else. But when I saw myself deteriorate, when I had the trach and I couldn't eat, drink, or talk, and I was like 175 when I got hit, and I plummeted to like 130 pounds at 6'6". Something had to change. I was frail. You have to eat your fruits and your vegetables, your anti-inflammatories, your proteins, and you gotta just basically your body's a machine, and you have to give it what it needs. Otherwise, it's gonna crumble. And I have to work 100 trillion times harder to get what I want than
Yeah.
just the average Joe off the street.
So how hard was it to convince people that you could live on your own in a house by yourself, or was there any convincing at all because they knew you?
Little by little, we were doing things. I had an incident where one of my assistants fell asleep, and then I was like, basically a leap of faith, and I transferred from my bed to my chair, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is game on. All right, let's throw some more challenges. So that's
Would you
pretty much.
would you say that was the biggest challenge that showed you that you could do this on your own?
Yeah, that was probably one of the top challenges of transferring from my bed to my chair because my legs they don't want to cooperate. They like spaz out or they internally rotate, and I had to work on my core. I had to work on everything, my whole body. Like this didn't happen overnight. Like I constantly like I'm like David Goggins in a chair. The pain's excruciating. I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it anyway because at the end of the day, I'm living for not only me but someone else. Someone else is struggling like a hell, and they don't want to do it. And I'm that voice. I'm the voice for the voiceless. I have a learning disability. Now I have a physical disability, and I have anxiety and PTSD and obsessive compulsive and bipolar type 2. And how the hell am I even doing this? By the grace of God, to get this awesome opportunity to share my story. And I hope people on the other line are going, wow, how the hell is this even? This is crazy. This is nuts. Like I said, check out my TikTok. You'll see from A to B to C what I do, how I get ready, and that's pretty much uh,
So as we wrap,
what I got so far.
yeah. So as we wrap this conversation up, it's been great talking to you, getting to know you, and I hope that people really enjoy it. I know we were kind of all over the place, but it's so amazing story. I want to make sure we get everything in there. We had technical difficulties and all, but if there's something that you would want to say to the people as we wrap this up, what would you tell them if they're sitting here telling them that, or is telling themselves that I'm watching this, but I can't do what he's doing. There's no way. I just got injured. There's no way I can do this.
When there's a will, there's a way. And if you are medicated, try your best with doctor supervision to get off whatever is making you down, depressed. Just you have to basically be active. Find a gym, find something local, get in a community. Um, basically, do as much as you can to get out of this situation. Whether you have your therapist and you have family, if you don't have family or you don't have friends, or because usually you have an injury, your friends and family and girlfriends and wives and husbands will leave you. That's a fact. It will happen. They did it to me, my friends and family. They ditched me because I wasn't the workhorse. You had to like plan a bunch of things. My girlfriend stole $1,800 from me when I was in the hospital. She was supposed to take care of me. But they will try and use you for money you don't have. Um, But yeah, your relationships they will dwindle away because they can't handle you like this. They don't want to be like you. They're either embarrassed or ashamed, or they want someone who's not like this to be able to be with them.
So what I'm hearing you say is, if you work out and you persevere and you do what you need to do, and you
If
get off,
you persevere through the pain, get off the meds, doctor supervision, and you be active as much as possible, and you eat the right foods, and you do your own research, it is possible to overcome whatever it is in life.
so one other thing, if David Goggins was to watch this right now, what would you tell him? What would you want to say to him?
Oh man, if David Goggins is watching this right now, oh man, I hear your story. I watch your videos. You're so inspiring. Um, I push through every day. It's painful. Like yeah, you push through every day, and basically there's no excuse. Like after your excuses, just keep pushing hard, and eventually you'll get to where you want to be in life. But you have to go through the pain. Pain and suffering is what we do, and in suffering there's success, and you cannot fail without. You can't have success without failure, and you can fail and fail and fail and fail. And once you figure out to get over the failure and just get over that success, eventually you will be on your way.
Awesome,
That
man.
probably did that probably made no sense, but hopefully it did. Like I said, I'm all over the place.
Awesome,
It's
man.
just a lot of stuff in my head.
Yeah, well, it was great talking to you, and I appreciate everyone that tunes into this episode of Getting Crazy with Crazy Wills, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. And Wayne, you're an inspiration, man. You inspire me every day. That's why I wanted to be on the podcast.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for listening to my snippet of my story, and I hope you got something from this experience. And I hope I can help as many people as I can through this episode. And whoever has questions, comments,
Yeah,
life can be good and great once you figure out where you want to go. Sometimes it's really hard where you want to go, but the end result, the meds, get off them. Try and get off them as much as you can, and stay active. Stay active. Stay active. Don't be an idle. And find a gym, find a club. If
awesome.
it's really hard to find relationships because people are like this. You'll get scammed. They tried scamming me several times, but I went to Homeland Security, so I can tell who's not real and who is.
Well,
But
people,
there is hope for people like you and me. We just have to keep searching, and there's gonna be a breakthrough. And I think I found it. I think I unlocked the chest, the spinal cord injury, the C5. I flipped it upside down. We threw it out the window, and here we are. And let's go. Let's keep pushing. I'm gonna walk. It's gonna happen.
that's awesome, man.
Uh,
I'm gonna be sure to put your social media links, your TikTok, all that stuff at the bottom of the video, so people can see it. And like I said, man, it's been great. And, we'll see you next time on another episode, maybe.
yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man.